All right, before we start the show, I think I need to issue an apology.
A disclaimer.
A disclaimer.
An apology, I think, is a better choice,
An
though.
apology.
Because once again, my husband has screwed this one up.
So, yeah, I had the button set to the wrong microphone.
Yeah.
So I was using the room mic to record this episode, and you can tell.
So when you listen to this episode, it sounds terrible.
It's horrible.
Yes, he
It's
apologized. I had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
But it will be completely back to normal for the next episode.
Yeah, it'll sound more like this disclaimer.
Oh, hopefully this sounds better. But we will have it fixed. Or actually, it already is fixed. Since we do record, we're not recording it again because I said so. So listen in, enjoy, and just keep in mind it will sound better next week.
Inconceivable!
Will you please act like you have more than a 2-word vocabulary?
Is there air? You don't know!
And now, a yak.
Yak!
Hey, don't touch that dial. You found Secular Yakking.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Amy.
After years,
No, many years of yakking at each other.
we're here to yak at you.
So sit back and enjoy the yakking.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. That's all I get this week is we're here.
Yeah, we're just here. It's busy as usual.
It is busy.
It's getting old.
Well, we're almost done, and then it's holiday season.
Yay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
I'm sure you are.
Please. Anyways,
we haven't talked enough about Republican candidates
yes.
so far, so I think we should.
Okay. Figured that was bound to happen.
Yeah, it's got to happen eventually. They just had to get stupid enough to for
They
me to
had
take
to
notice.
get there. I think they were already there, but alrighty.
All right, so we're going to start off with John Kasich.
Okay.
He proposes creating a propaganda department to spread Judeo-Christian values.
Okay.
So, Kasich wants a new agency to promote values as a part of a broad national security plan to defeat ISIS.
Okay. So, run that by me again.
So, hang on. Let me get the audio for that, because I think I have audio.
We must be more forceful in the battle of ideas. U.S. public diplomacy and international broadcasting have lost their focus on the case for Western values and ideals and effectively countering our opponents' propaganda and disinformation. I will consolidate them into a new agency that has a clear mandate to promote the core Judeo-Christian Western values that we and our friends and allies share, the values of human rights, the values of democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of association. And it should focus on 4 critical targets: the Middle East, China, Iran, and Russia. Sophisticated strategies will be developed to communicate with each of these hard target countries.
So
he wants to target anywhere that isn't pro-Christian.
That isn't Christian in general.
Or, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, specifically China, Iran, Russia, and the Middle East.
Yes, because that's this Christian, Christianity is what America's all about, apparently, in his mind. And
so, this is really strange.
Elaborate.
Well, it feels much like what happened during World War II.
That's actually what was going through my mind.
Right? Because there was a propaganda machine then.
Right.
On both sides, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But they weren't... This feels like the Axis side of stuff. The way they were doing things.
Right.
So they were beaming propaganda. I mean, we were doing our share of it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know, there's just something that feels really, really wrong about this. And having a government agency do it, for one.
Well, that in itself is just crazy.
But to have... Well, and these guys talk about small government. He wants a new government position.
Well, I was going to say, he wants to take government huge in that aspect.
Right. That's... No, there's something seriously wrong with that.
There's several things seriously wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, what's odd is people in his own party are against it.
I would hope so.
So,
I would hope so.
Yeah, so Senator Lindsey Graham, not exactly the bastion of freedom himself, said that the idea for a new agency to promote Judeo-Christian ideas sounds a lot like the Crusades.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's, if his own party is looking at him as kind of crazy, he might be crazy.
Yeah, he might be. I don't know.
I mean, this is a
And this guy's running for
crazy,
president.
far-fetched idea. I know, that's...
Remember, if you get John Kasich for president, you're getting the Christian Gestapo.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, it's just, that's never going to happen. I'm sorry. This is not going to happen.
All right, let's try Trump.
God, not him again.
Amid growing concern of last week's terrorist attacks in Paris, including calls from 30 governors to halt relocation of Syrian refugees, Republican front-runner Donald Trump has taken things a step further.
He always does.
We're going to have to do things that we never did before, and some people are going to be upset about it. But I think that now everybody is feeling that security is going to rule, and certain things will be done that we never thought would happen in this country in terms of information and learning about the enemy. So we are going to have to do certain things that were frankly unthinkable a year ago. So guess what he's talking about?
Now I'm curious, yes.
So he's talking about registering and IDing all Muslims.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Some people with some stars.
That's exactly what was going through my head. Is he freaking kidding?
Yeah. This is... And it gets worse because he even doubled down on this later on in the week.
Oh,
He's
really?
like, yeah, this is what I meant. I meant we need to register Muslims because we can't trust them is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, he feels the same way about anyone coming from the Mexican border as well.
Right. I mean, it shows that his insane racism.
Oh, yeah, it's like out of control.
But it's worth printing out. I'm not printing anything right now. That would be kind of noisy.
Move on.
That of the 740,000 refugees that have settled in the United States since the September 11th attacks, only 2 have been arrested on terrorism-related charges.
That's pretty huge in numbers.
And and they weren't convicted, by the way. They were allegedly. So.
Well, not if he had his way.
No.
He would have done a lot worse.
So Trump wants to build a wall to keep out Mexicans.
Yes, and have them pay for it.
And he wants to, right now, brand Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy's great.
And people are actually in favor of him. I mean, he's leading.
He's number 1 over there.
That's just crazy to me. I'm sorry. That's just completely crazy. I can't even understand why you would vote for him in the first place, but to take it to basically branding, putting patches on their shoulder, on their arms, and
right.
Well, is it just me, or does it seem like we're going backwards?
Well, it seems like they're
going
backwards.
Well, okay, yes, all of them are going backwards in the thought process and the thinking. I mean, even Christians, they're getting really, of course, kind of goes with it, but they're getting really crazy ass backwards with all their ideas, and it's like, when the hell did we start going back in time?
I don't know. It feels like we're going back to the 40s and 50s.
Well, and, as far as, when you deal with Christians, not just, Republican candidates or anything like that, just some of the things I've heard from Christians and what they want to see happen, it's like we're going to the dark ages with them.
Yeah, cut off all information.
Yeah, it's crazy, and in this day and age, no one's going to...
Well, we've got Jeb Bush and Ted Cruz are also saying that we should probably only let in the Christians. That Muslim countries should take care of the Muslims.
Yeah,
see. And that gives us the idea that we're a Christian nation.
Yeah, right.
Since we're only taking in Christians, and Muslim nations should take in Muslims.
Yeah,
that again seems so wrong.
Right, which, I'm sorry, this country is not founded on the Christian religion. It's not.
It's a nation of mostly Christians right now. Right?
Well, yeah.
But that's not how our government is set up.
No, that's not how it was originally come about. I mean, that's completely the opposite of why they, created everything that they did.
I know.
But anyways, they're all going backwards.
Right. So, you remember Huckabee, running for president,
right, of course.
and Kim Davis a while back?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, do you remember what song was played when she came out?
Yes, I do.
What was that song?
The Eye of the Tiger.
Well, guess what?
He is in trouble.
Oh, yes. So Frank Sullivan, the guitarist and founding member of the band Survivor.
Oh my God, I have to interrupt you. I can't stand how you say guitar. It drives me crazy. Anyway, sorry, had to go.
Fine. You say guitar.
It is not guitar, it's guitar. Anyways, move on, because we could go forever on that. Go.
It's Southern, sorry.
Awful.
Frank
Anyways,
Sullivan and a guitarist
Jesus.
and founding member of the band Survivor sued Huckabee for unauthorized public performance of the song Eye of the Tiger.
So he played it without asking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the lawsuit filed on Wednesday claims the campaign infringed on Sullivan's copyright, which he holds through his publishing company, Rude Music.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I figured this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, because several of them were playing some songs or another, actually.
This isn't the first time that Sullivan's had to do this.
Oh, really?
He had to do it for Newt Gingrich back in 2012.
I was going to say.
It was, oddly enough, still running.
But that song is so popular, and a lot of people use it and stuff.
Well, it was on Rocky 3, right?
Yes.
It was the theme song for Rocky 3. Like this big pumped up song that I can't stand.
Right.
So, I don't like Eye of the Tiger. I'm not a rocker.
That's funny.
Anyway. But yeah, he's not the only campaign to do this either. So lots of campaigns will use music without asking and get in a lot of trouble. There's been several times people have said, hey, don't use my music. James Taylor has told people, don't use his music.
Right.
I think, pretty sure Bono's told people, don't use my music. Lots of people have. I mean, it's just insane. If you're going to use this music, you need to at least ask permission.
Right,
Seriously.
exactly. You've got to get the say-so before you go and do it.
Right.
Especially when you're doing something like campaigning.
Right.
Because, maybe they don't want to be associated with the candidate.
That happens quite a bit.
Right, exactly. But, yeah. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, eventually. That's cool. Hopefully...
They need to start thinking before they start playing certain music.
Mike Huckabee, think. Yeah. Let's try that again. Anyways, we have another one.
Okay.
Ted Cruz creates National Prayer Team. Like
an actual team, like a team.
Cruz, who has aggressively courted the support of evangelicals, said the creation of the team would, and this is in quotes, establish a direct line of communication between our campaign and the thousands of Americans who are lifting us up before the Lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Group members will receive mails containing prayer requests and short devotionals every week, the campaign said. They will also be invited to take part in a 20-minute prayer conference call each Tuesday.
Wow. Really?
Really. So that's his plan to get a lot of people on board with him, is to have them pray for him. So this guy, running for president.
Yeah, hello.
It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand how they continue to ignore the rules, you know. I mean,
he can do whatever he wants with his campaign. That's There's not a rule against that.
Yes.
But he's just, I don't know.
I go again with crazy just due to lack of words.
It is. But he's courting a specific base, right?
Right, of course.
He's looking for that, obviously, evangelical that thinks prayer works.
Right, exactly.
So, and here's what's interesting. What happens when he doesn't win? I can tell you what happens.
The odds are in
God
his
said
favor
no.
to not.
Because we can say, well, God didn't answer your prayers. And say, well, yeah, he did. He said no.
Right, because that's the go-to.
Yes, no. So the answer to God's prayers to God are yes, no, and maybe.
Right.
Or not now.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
So next time.
They're playing to the Christian vote, and because the majority is Christian, that's what they're counting.
Well, what was it, last week? He said that anybody who doesn't get down on their knees and pray every morning doesn't deserve to be president.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually said that.
So, you know how many times a day Muslims get on their knees and pray? Is he okay with that?
I think 5.
Uh-huh.
5.
So is it okay for Muslim runs for president?
That's the wrong God.
Because,
No, that's the wrong God.
No, not seriously. I mean, everyone goes with Obama being Muslim, you know, blah,
Well,
blah,
then
blah.
he should be fine with Obama being Muslim and
Yeah,
president.
if he's going to go on that route, although I still can't believe they're riding that train, the whole...
Somebody just told me
Obama's
that
a
yesterday.
Yeah, really. Come on, it's almost 8 years later. Get off of it.
Yesterday.
That's insane. But yeah, so, again, it's pretty crappy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird week for presidential people.
It's been a weird week in
I
general.
intentionally didn't put Carson on because we covered his idiocy last week in full detail.
Because there's always so much to do.
Well,
with
he's
it.
actually been a little quiet this week.
I've noticed that. I haven't heard him as much.
Of course, you know, I probably could have found something.
But then again, I was going to say, you do most of the legwork on that.
do most of the legwork anyway.
Fight me.
Anyways,
Moving
on.
Please.
I am an old man, and most people hate me, but I don't like them either, so that makes it all even.
That's right, Yackers.
It's Mr. Potter time.
Mr. Potter time.
Yep.
This week, we're moving to Stockton, California.
California.
And Mayor Anthony Silva.
Alrighty.
So after a shooting that involved a 6-year-old being hit, Mayor Silva decided that what his city needed was a prayer rally to bring God back to the city.
Yeah, that'll stop it from happening.
Yeah. And just in case that wasn't enough to entice the most powerful being in the universe to stop what he was doing and join them, he also gave God the key to the city.
Seriously.
So, well, here's the weird part. The key is still there. So he didn't come by and pick it up.
Well, my question is where was God when that 6-year-old was getting shot?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's...
I mean, they seem okay with the fact that he let that go on.
Well, I don't know. So I did some research on Stockton, California. Turns out they have one of the highest homicide rates in the nation.
Wow, I can't wait to
For many years, they were in the top 10.
Wow.
They recently got out of the top 10, like this year.
Huh.
But still, they're pretty high for their size.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, having a prayer rally is fine. And even the mayor being at the prayer rally is fine, providing he's there as a citizen.
As a citizen, yes.
However, he was not. He promoted the event on the city website and the city Facebook page. And, of course, only a city official can give God the key to the city.
Jeez. It's another one completely ignoring what the rules are.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know he knows them.
Oh, yeah.
You know he does.
I'm pretty sure, considering some of the other stuff I've seen, he's been told.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I know he's been told.
Okay.
He also has town hall meetings that are co-sponsored by local Christian organizations, usually held at places like Calgary, First Assembly of God, and Christian Life Center. So he has town meetings that are city paid for in churches.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean...
It's not like there's some other place he could go.
Well, that's exactly where I'm going with this. So I don't understand the purpose of that. I mean, he has a location for town meetings to be held.
Yeah.
And which is where he's supposed to hold them.
I'm sure there's room in the library or in a school or something like that.
Unbelievable.
So, the AHA wrote him a letter informing that it was unconstitutional he should cease. And I'm going to quote parts of the letter.
Okay.
This letter serves as notice to the city and mayor's unconstitutional activity and demands that you terminate all promotion, sponsorship, endorsement, or affiliation with Christian Life Center or any other religious organization immediately.
So he knows damn well what he should and shouldn't do.
Right.
Or can and can't do.
So it also says you will take the appropriate steps to remedy these clear constitutional violations, including by expressly renouncing any affiliation with or support of Christian Life Center and the mayor's prayer rally.
Huh.
We also ask for written assurances these practices will not continue in the future. However,
I was going to say, did they not continue in the future?
well, there's one still planned for the end of the month. So we'll probably be watching that.
Right.
And he said basically that he's going to continue with the practice.
So he's just blatantly going to ignore what he is told.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do what he wants to do.
Yeah. So, and here's why, and it is a direct quote from him.
Okay.
He said, you know, if I would have scheduled it at a high school, someone who liked charter schools over public schools might have said they don't feel welcome there because I don't believe in public schools. So I'm not going to his town hall meeting at the high school. We can't please everyone.
That's his argument.
His argument is not even I can't even call that a false equivalency. It's not even close to the same thing.
No. I mean, there is separation of church and state, period.
There's not separation of schools.
Well, that's exactly, and that's preferences as far as, you know, they're both
and there's no one out there, and I mean, there is no one out there who would prefer charter schools and say, well, public schools offend me, so I'll never step into one.
Right. It's not like they're enrolling their kids there.
That's basically what he's saying their argument is.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that cannot be the argument. But that is his argument.
That's a very weak argument.
Yeah, it's
actually almost non-existent.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right. But,
yeah,
as usual, you need a little more.
Always.
And he delivers.
Of course.
So, in 2014, News 10, the local news station, made public record requests for Silva's emails since January of 2013, when he took office.
Right.
They noticed something odd about the months of May and June.
Okay.
There were no emails sent from his official email address.
Oh,
Did he not send any emails?
Doubt it.
Was he on vacation?
Doubt it.
No, he was using his personal AOL address and texting from his phone.
AOL.
Now, let's stop right there. If you're still using AOL, I'm sorry. Seriously, get with the times.
But still, the fact that he was doing his business work through his private emails.
Right.
What's he hiding?
Right. So, according to California law, those emails and text messages are public records, and according to... Wait, that's in there twice. What the hell? Someone didn't read my stuff properly.
Oh, please, move on.
Okay. Stockton Public Information Officer, however, said that the text messages were not public record.
Oh, so he's declaring...
Well, his underling, his information officer, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. The News 10 said, no, they are, look at California law. So, after finally getting the city to send the emails over, guess how many they got?
Huh.
4. 4.
Really?
Yeah, they released 4 emails.
That's it?
For 2 months.
For 2 months
okay,
worth?
I send that many emails in an hour.
Oh,
on some
actually,
days.
probably more than that.
And that's at work. That's not my private stuff. I send that many in an hour sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? However, they guessed that something wasn't right, so they requested any emails sent to the 15 other city officials from Silva in May and June of 2013. They got dozens.
Yeah.
Yeah, from his private email, from his AOL address.
Jeez.
But Silva still maintains that he has been 100% transparent and has not been elusive.
Obviously, right there proves he has.
When asked why he used his personal account for city business instead of his city email, he said he wasn't trying to hide anything from the public, but rather prying eyes at City Hall.
So he was hiding it from the people at work.
Yes.
But he's not trying to hide anything.
No, not trying to hide anything.
No, not at all.
And I've got a quote on that too.
Of course.
He said, I wasn't 100% certain that whatever I typed in my private emails weren't going to be read as I typed them. Somebody's got a paranoia issue.
Yeah. No. That is no excuse.
And now he's saying that even the text messages, even the ones for city business, are not public record, would not be turned over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's amazing how he thinks that he doesn't adhere to what the laws are.
Right.
You know, it's going this way because I said so.
Well, here's the weirdest thing. This is the same kind of person who would have railed against Clinton for her use of private server email.
That is true. That is true.
And now we see this.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he's small time, but still.
Right.
Well, Stockton's not exactly a small California city. It's decent size.
Right,
But still, the whole concept is...
But he had to have known why he was doing that through his own private email that, you know, I'm not supposed to do this.
Well, he was even told in May of that year by the city attorney that this is a bad idea. That if you use private email for your official correspondence, those emails can be requested through public records.
Yeah, so he knows.
He knew in May and continued all the way through June. Yeah.
Right.
So but he was hiding it from people in his own building, in his own
that's really
government.
bizarre.
That seems weird.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of weird stuff about him. And I've got one more.
Oh, okay.
So he paid for, out of his pocket, the badges for his personal security escort.
Personal as in
His-
out of work or?
Well, for official business, right?
Okay.
As the mayor's official escort.
Okay.
Which is not uncommon, right? But I'm trying to figure out why a mayor of any city, that unless you're like Chicago or DC, maybe New York, would need full-time protection.
He obviously doesn't trust his own town.
That's the weirdest part.
But back to the badges.
Back to the badges. So these badges, which cost him $1,100, it's his money. He can do what he wants with it. Except he can't buy official-looking badges for people who aren't police.
Yes.
That's against California state law.
When you look at them, they are very authoritative looking.
Right. Security guards are supposed to wear a specific kind of badge, so it doesn't look like a sheriff or a police badge. Police badge has a very specific look to it.
Right.
And they look exactly like any other police badge.
Which is breaking the law.
Right.
Again.
Right. And I did a little bit of looking, and yes, security guards have to have this, what's called a guard card, which is basically an ID badge that they have to wear, saying, hey, I'm a security guard, not an official police.
Right.
Right. Because they wear uniforms that look official. They have gear that looks official. So you got to make sure that they're not posing as officials.
And with those badges.
With those badges, it makes it look even more police official.
Exactly.
The police department just said, hey, you can't do this. This looks too much like our official badges. And
Did you listen to what they said?
No.
Of course he didn't. Because he has a track record of that.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to anybody. I don't think he... I mean, it's interesting that what attitudes these people have. And I'm sure some of their stuff is in the best interest.
Some sort of, maybe a tiny little bit.
You know, this idea that they're playing king in their own city.
Yes, that's my issue with it.
So it's just really frustrating.
They seem to do this often.
Well, I've seen be able to find somebody a lot.
But yeah, there's always someone who thinks they're king of their country.
Well, I'm hoping one day to run out. But there's a lot.
And there's always new ones showing up too.
And I've got some in my back pocket too, just in case I run out.
Oh, do you now?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So some long-term potters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about running out of potters.
I don't think you will, especially with the way everything's going more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see that as an issue.
So that's all the yakking we have for you today. We'll see you again next week. We always like to hear your feedback, so leave us a voicemail at 704-802-YAK or an email at podcast@secularyakking.com.
More input.
All comments are welcome. We like to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. You also can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+.
If you like our show, head over to your podcast directory of choice and leave us a 5-star review. If you really like the show, support the show on our Podbean patron page.
I'd buy that for $1.
And we'll be back next week with more yakking to please your eardrums.